This conference will now be recorded.
So uh, I request everyone to go on mute, and at the end of the demo session, I'll open for the QA session. So okay. So we'll begin the demo session with the introduction of functional testing, because most of you might be coming from functional background, or maybe from automation background, or maybe uh, very few of them might be from non-IT background as well. Those who wants to enter IT field, and to begin their career as a performance tester with the Load Runner tool. Okay, so if you see, let's assume that this is the application. Okay, let's assume this is the application. So as a functional tester, if I want to validate any functionality, for example, if I want to validate the login functionality of this particular application, this is a sample application given by the Micro Focus team. Okay, so let's assume we have to validate the login functionality. So what would a manual or a functional tester do? He would generally enter the username here, right? He would generally enter the username here, and he'll enter the password here, and then he'll click on sign on, login or sign on button. So once the login is successful, this particular user will be navigated to the home page, right? So this is the home page. So if I have to validate the login functionality, what I'm doing, like, I entered the username, I entered the password, and I'm able to navigate to the home page. Okay, so this is all about the functionality testing. Okay, but as a performance tester, I'm not interested in validating the functionality or testing the complete functionality of it. Okay, but what I'm more interested is in how fast or how quick the application is, how fast the user is able to sign in. Okay, so what is the performance of it? So how much time it took for the user to sign in or log in, or how much time it took for the user to navigate to the home page, right? So how to know what is the time that it has taken to navigate to the home page for this particular user? So generally, if I want to test for a particular one user, I can test it with the F12 developer tool, the browser F12 developer tool, or various other means, or I can test it manually as well, like using stopwatch or something like that. But what if I want to test uh, this particular the performance, you for some 100 users, or for some 500 users, or for 1000 users? So when I say 500 or 1000 users, what I mean is, what if this particular application is being used by 500 or 1000 people at a time, and if I want to analyze the performance, if I want to analyze what is the speed of this application, how fast the application is responding, how fast the pages are loading. Okay, so if I want to analyze that kind of performance, I cannot do it manually, nor I can give this particular application to 500 people, or I cannot make 500 people to sit at one single place, or I can give 500 machines to them and ask them to sign in at a time and see the performance. No, right? It's not possible. So basically, if I want to calculate the performance or analyze the performance of a particular application, uh, I have to do it with some kind of scripting, or I should have some script which will generate the response time for me, like how fast the application is application the user is able to log in, or how fast the pages are loading. So there will be some script, there should be some script or some tool which should help me in understanding, or in calculating the response times. When I say response time, how I mean how fast the application is loading, or how fast the pages are loading. Okay, so that particular component, okay, from the load runner architecture is called Vugen. Okay, there is a component called Vugen from the load runner architecture which will help me in developing that script, and that script will help me in calculating the response time of a particular functionality or particular transaction. For example, in today's example, I've taken I've just logged in, right? I've just navigated to the home page. If I want to calculate the response time of this particular login, then I can develop one small script using this Vuegen component, okay, where it will give me the response time, how much time it has taken for login. Okay, this we are not developing any script from scratch or anything like that from this component. Rather, we are recording the functionality, like whatever the functionality we did manually just now, right? We entered username, we entered password, and we navigated to the home page. The same functionality we will record it in our component or the Vuegen tool, and it will generate the script for us. Okay, it will generate the script for us. So after generating the script, we need to tweak the code little bit. Okay, we need not enhance the code completely, or we need not write the code from scratch or something like that. We need to just tweak the code a little bit so that it will run for multiple times. That's the same script should run for multiple times, right? So for that purpose, we need to tweak the code so little bit, and that script will run for us n number of times. So let's do it practically, and I'll show you how to record the script and how the response time is calculated. So I'll just close this browser, and I'll launch the component called Vuegen, which is used for generating the script or recording the script. Okay, so whatever the steps that I did manually, I'll perform the same steps, and it will generate the script or code for me. Okay, so let's create. This is the home page. Okay, this is the page. Once you launch the Vuegen component, this is where we land, and then we just start the new script. Okay, and there are multiple protocols here. So, and whatever the most of the web applications, we use this web HTTP HTML protocol. We know, right? We have been discussing since quite a long time that about this HTTP HTML protocol. Okay, so let's create a new location where it has to save it. Okay, I'm gonna create a new folder. Let's say I'm gonna say it as May. Okay, and I'll mention it as demo. Okay, I'm clicking on create. So once you create a new script, so this is how it looks. So we'll be discussing in detail in our upcoming sessions about all these functionalities. But for today's demo session, we'll quickly record it and see. So there will be an option here, okay, to record the functionality, and whatever the recorded functionality or recorded script will be generated into these three particular actions, okay, or the code you can see here in this particular layout. Okay. So now I'm going to click on this record icon here, and then there are some set of options which are displayed here, and we'll be discussing in detail, as I said earlier, in our upcoming sessions. So for now, what I'll tell you is, whatever the URL that I'm recording is this particular URL, and what is the browser that I'm recording is the Internet Explorer. Okay, so and we have an option to start recording. So what I'll do is I'll click on start recording. I'm going to record the login functionality today, login and logout, or login alone. Okay, I'm clicking on start recording. So as soon as I click on start recording, a particular browser window will open with the given URL. Okay, the URL address I have given here, right? So with that URL, a browser window will open. Okay, and as soon as you click on start recording, along with the browser window, you are seeing this kind of mobile window. Okay, you are seeing this kind of mobile window, and there is some number over here which keeps on increasing. So what it means? It means that our Vuegen tool, or the LoadRunner this particular component called Vuegen tool, is able to record the application successfully. When you see that number increasing over there, it means that we are capturing the traffic. whatever the application we are browsing, this particular load balancer tool is able to capture that all the requests. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly enter some username and password. Okay, and I'm clicking on sign on button. So before doing that, as I said, I want to calculate the response time of login. We have to add one more step of starting the transaction. So before I click on login, I'll just start a transaction. There is an option over here. Okay, to start a transaction, we'll be discussing in detail in our upcoming sessions, but for time being, this is the icon to click to start a transaction. So if I want to calculate a response time for a specific transaction, like for login, logout, or doing some other activity, I have to make it clear that where I should start the transaction and where I should end the transaction. So between that start and end transaction, whatever the code it generates, so for that particular code, it will calculate the response time. So for let's start a transaction here. Okay, so I'll give a name to it. Let's say it as a login. Okay, let's say it as login. And once you start a transaction, you will see end transaction also here. Okay, this is start transaction, this is end transaction. So this end transaction will be enabled only after starting the transaction. So now we started the transaction. So what is the next step we have to do is we have to click on login button. We have to enter the username and password, and we have to click on login button. So let's click on login button here. So now we have successfully logged in, and we are on the home page of the application where we can see the sign off button as well. Okay, now because we have successfully navigated to the home page, we will end this particular transaction. Which transaction we'll end? We'll end login transaction, because login is completed, right? So I'm going to end this transaction here. Okay, now I'm going to end this transaction. And what is the next step we plan to do? We'll just log out for today. So after login, we are just logging off. So to log off, again, I'll start a new transaction. Okay, the name of the transaction, I'll give it as logout. Okay, and I'm giving it as okay. And then what I have to do after starting the transaction, I have to click on the sign off button, so that I log out of this application. Okay, I clicked on sign off, and I'm closing the browser. And now after closing the browser, I'm clicking on end transaction. Okay, I'm clicking on end transaction. After ending the final transaction, I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to stop the recording. There is an icon over here to stop the recording, or you can use Control F5. Okay, so once you stop recording, this particular Vusion component will generate the script for us. Okay, so what is the script? Okay, this is the script which it has generated. Okay, so now this is the script which it has generated. So now what for today's session, what I'll do is I'll remove all unwanted code. Okay, I'll tell you, I'll explain you in detail why I'm removing this code in our upcoming sessions. So let's say for today's session, let's delete this unwanted code. Okay, now if you see, we have given some transaction names, right? So this is login. So this is the code for that login start transaction login. And if you see line number 37, here it is ending LR end transaction login, line number 37. So whatever the code that is there, okay, whatever the code that is there between login start transaction login and end transaction login, that belongs to login code. Okay, that belongs to login functionality. Now this is a request that is going to server for login. This is a request that is going to server for login. And if you scroll down slowly, now there is another transaction called logout, and there is another end transaction called logout. Okay, now whatever the request or whatever the code that is there between the logout, okay, start transaction logout and end transaction logout, that particular request is related to the logout code. Okay, now this particular code is related to logout, or this particular request is related to logout, this particular request is related to login, and obviously this particular above request is related to launch of the application. Okay, so now what I have to do is I will run this particular script. Okay, I'll run this particular script, and I will see what is the response time for login and logout. Okay, so what is the response time for login and logout? So let's run this script once. So hardly it will take 1 or 2 seconds to run the script. Okay, so now I have executed this script. Now the script is passed. Now if you see this report, it will clearly tell you, like, how much time it has taken for login and how much time it has taken for logout. No, it took 0.23 seconds to login and 0.232 seconds for logout. Okay, and at the same time you can see the same response times in the output log as well. Here somewhere in the log you will see. Okay, here if you see the login ended with the pass status and duration is 0.2296 seconds. Okay, and this logout ended with a pass with a duration of 0.231 seconds. So using this particular script, we can run n number of times with n number of users, and we can easily know what is the response time for a particular transaction or for a particular functionality, like how much time it has taken for login, how much time it has taken for logout. For example, you are working on a banking application. So for any bank application, what are the general transactions you do? You download a statement, or you transfer money from one account to another account, or you pay a credit card bill, right? Or you change your account passwords or whatever it may be. So these are the frequent transactions, frequent functionality you work on it, right? So like that, we can record the application, or we can record the flow, and we can create these transactions for each functionality, and we can easily know what is the response time, or how much time it is taking to download a bank statement, or how much time it is taking to transfer money from one account to another account. So all these things we can know very easily. Okay, so this particular Vuegen component is a very powerful component which will quickly generate the script for us, and if we tweak this particular script a little bit, we can run this script a number of times, and we can easily know what is the response time, or how the application is behaving, or how these pages are loading, and so on. Okay, so this is a high level understanding of this particular Vuegen component and what it does. So basically performance testing is all about analyzing the speed of the application. Basically it's more about speed of calculating the speed of the application, how fast the application is responding, how fast the pages are loading, right? So this is how we calculate the response times. Okay, and this is on a high level of this particular Vuegen component. And here we have something called we have something called a load runner architecture as well. So we'll quickly discuss this load runner architecture as well, to understand what is this load runner all about, and how it works. Okay, so to begin with, let's assume that actually we'll derive the architecture based out of some questions. Okay, let's say we have some application, or let's say some bank website, and to test this bank website, let's say what is the peak time. Let's say generally bank opens around 10 a.m. in the morning, or let's say more number of people are accessing this bank application from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. in the morning, right? Let's say 100 users are using this bank application. Now if I want to test this bank application with 100 users, I cannot give 100 laptops or 100 machines to 100 people, and I cannot ask them to sit at one place and use this or access this application at one time. I cannot do that, right? So I need some tool, or I need some mechanism which will generate the virtual users for me.
okay, or which will simulate virtual users for me. They behave like, you know, real-time users. Okay, I should have some component, right? So that particular component is called load generator. Now what this load generator will do, this load generator will generate or simulate virtual users for me. Okay, it can be 100 or it can be 500 or it can be 1000 or it can be 10,000, whatever it is. So these load generator machines will generate the virtual users for us, and these are highly configured machines, like, you know, 16 GB RAM or whatever it is, highly configured. And maybe, you know, depending on the protocol we use, each load generator machine will maybe it will generate up to 500 users or 1000 users or 1500 users. It depends on the configuration. Okay, so this particular component will simulate or generate virtual users for us. And when we have this load, now we have load generator which will generate users for us. Now what should we have is these scripts. Now these users should run some scripts, right? Let's say one script is for downloading a bank statement, one script is for transferring money from one account to another account, and one script is to pay a credit card bill. Now all those scripts we should record or we should develop, okay, and then we should save it. We should keep all those scripts ready, right? So what is the component using which we will record or generate these scripts? The component is nothing but Vuegen, which we have seen just now. We have recorded a login script, right? So something similar to that, we will generate scripts for downloading bank statement or whatever it is. So this is the component which will generate scripts for us. Now we have a component which will generate as simulate virtual users for us. Now we have a component which will generate or record a script for us, so that we can run a number of times again and again. Now there should be some platform where we have to run these scripts, right? So that particular platform or component which is used to run scripts for us is called controller or performance center. Okay, now this is a very important component, because whatever, if you have the scripts or if you have the users, there should be some platform to run, right? So we have to run all these scripts, and we have to see how these scripts are running with a number of users. So this particular component which will take care of these particular execution activity is called performance center or controller. Okay, earlier we used to call it as performance center. In the recent past they have changed it to performance center, but both are same. Now let's assume that we have all three. We have load generator, we have Vuegen, we have controller or performance center to execute, and let's assume we have executed these scripts. Now there should be some component, or there should be some platform, like, which will help us to analyze the results, or which will display all the results for us. Okay, that particular component is called analysis. Now this analysis component is responsible for displaying all the results. It's a very good component. It will show results in various graphs. It will show different metrics, like what are the number of users, what are the average response times, what is the maximum response times, so how the application behave. Okay, from first minute to the last minute. Okay, so how the application behave. There are different metrics it will show in terms of graphs, and it will definitely help when we are reporting our analysis to the client or application team. So as a performance tester, we execute these scripts, and we provide our observations, right? So this analysis component will definitely help us in giving a good good analysis or good observations to the application or the development team, or in fact to the client as well. So this is on a high level. These are the different components that are part of load runner architecture: a load generator, a Vuegen, a performance center, and the analysis, right? So this is a simple architecture, and that's it about architecture from the architecture point of view. And from the course content, you can see the course content here, or I think Anita ma'am or Kumar sir has shared the course content, I guess, already to you. And on a high level, this is a course content. It starts with architecture basics, and it will go to the introduction of performance testing and the non-functional requirements gathering, the controller, what is a controller in detail, what is analyzer in detail, how we run the scripts from controller. Okay, how do we analyze, how do we analyze different types of graphs. Okay, what are the common issues, or how we identify the performance bottlenecks. Okay, So all these things we will see. Generally, what kind of bottlenecks we will identify is, some small example I'll give you here. For example, what is the response time for this login here? If you see here, what is the response time for login? Here for login and logout, it's showing some 0.2316 seconds, right? So you might get a question like, is there any standard, or is there any standard value, like, in the performance testing industry, that it should not exceed these many seconds? Yes, there is an industry standard that every transaction, or every page should load within 2 seconds. If it's a web application, generally it should not take more than 2 seconds to load a page. Okay, that is the industry standard. So anything above 2 seconds can be considered as an issue or a bottleneck. But in very rare cases, or in very few projects, this particular value can be 5 seconds as well. Some of the clients or some of the projects may say that, hey, okay, I'm okay if the page is loading in 5 seconds. Okay, that's fine. Okay, but in general, it is 2 seconds. Anything beyond 2 seconds, we have to analyze, why it is taking more than 2 seconds. But if in very rare cases, or in few projects, if they're okay with 5 seconds or 3 seconds, then it's fine. If it is beyond 5 seconds, then again we have to analyze why it is taking beyond 5 seconds. Okay, so these are the common issues or common bottlenecks. In performance testing terminology, we call it as bottlenecks. Okay, why it is taking so much time, or what could be the issue and all. So again, going back to the course content, we'll discuss in detail about the more common performance bottlenecks, and we'll see why these, what are the different types of bottlenecks, what are frequent ones, how to analyze, how to provide our observations to the client or the application team, and all those things. And coming to this load runner or VueGen, this is also a most important thing, right? We have to record our scripts, we have to develop our scripts. Okay, and we have to tweak a bit, we have to tweak a little bit of the recorded script to make it more stable, so that we can run n number of times. So how do we do that? What is the language it supports? So here basically it supports both C and JavaScript. So, and it doesn't mean that you should be a master in C or JavaScript or Java, whatever it may be. So a very little knowledge of C language is sufficient. Maybe hardly some data types or loops, hardly until that, or basic some default functions. If you know those basic things, that will be sufficient. And we will be covering those topics in our session, in our course. Okay, we will have 3-4 sessions for C language basics, so which is required to enhance the scripts, or whatever the script we record, we have to enhance it, right? So this C language basics will definitely help us to enhance the scripts. And we'll also cover some concepts like correlation, parameterization, checkpoints, okay, which are very important with respect to the scripting. And along with this particular course content, okay, and in fact developing the script and understanding on how to and learning how to write a script, okay, like how to enhance the script, so that we can run a number of times. It will take at least a couple of weeks to learn everything, like step by step. There will be different concepts within the okay, load runner we have to understand, and we have to learn to develop a complete script, right? So it will take a couple of weeks for that. And along with that, we will see some out, along with this load runner tool or load runner architecture or load runner concepts. Along with this, we will learn something called performance engineering concepts as well, and a little bit of performance engineering concepts, like what is the like if we run the scripts, there will be servers, right, or where these scripts will run, how the servers are behaving, what are the different metrics we have to see while the execution is going on, how to monitor those servers, what are the different metrics we have to see. So what is a little bit of Java knowledge also I'll give. So what is JVM and what is heap memory and all. We'll have few sessions on that and a couple of sessions on that. And along with that, just make a note of it in the notepad. So along with this, along with the course content which I have mentioned here, we'll see a little bit of performance engineering concepts, because these concepts any performance tester should learn now. Okay, so we'll discuss a couple of concepts, important ones. Okay, and then along with this, we will discuss about a monitoring tool called AppDynamics. Okay, I'll take 1 or 2 sessions for AppDynamics. Why? Because every performance tester should be able to analyze where it is going wrong, in which layer it is going wrong, and everything. So that's the reason we have to learn at least one monitoring tool. So I'll give a high level information of what is AppDynamics all about and what are the different metrics, or what are the different options that are there in the AppDynamics, and what are the metrics that we have to analyze and monitor during execution. And along with that, I will give you a high level information about a CI/CD tool called Jenkins, because in the recent agile world, now most of the companies are asking for Jenkins as well, like how to trigger a script from Jenkins and all. Okay, so we'll have one session on these topics as well. So this is the course content along with the load runner tool. These are the different topics that we'll cover, and the protocol which we will learn as part of our course is web HTTP HTML protocol. Okay, load runner supports multiple protocols, and most of the web applications, or in fact 90% of the web applications use this web HTTP HTML protocol. Right? If you if you use any application, generally you give HTTP or HTTPS, right? So whatever the application using those HTTP protocol, we have to use this. And along with this, we will be giving a recorded sessions for the web services as well. Okay, we'll be giving the recorded sessions of the web services as well, because performance testing of a UI application we are learning. Along with that, in some of the projects where they deal with the web services, right? So for those, we'll be giving a recorded session, so you can go through those videos, and you'll it's a very simple videos and simple tasks. You'll understand clearly and how to test these web services as well. So these are the things that we'll be covering as part of this course, load runner course. So now I'll go to the Q&A session. So if anyone has any questions, then please go ahead. Postman is a different tool, right? Postman collection demo. So it's a simple, Postman is a simple tool, right? Like, we give the request, and we hit the request to the endpoint, and we'll get the response. But the same thing, what in load runner also, in load runner web services recorded sessions also, we'll be using that request. That request will go and hit the server, and we'll get the response, and we'll analyze, how we have to, what are the different things we have to observe while testing web services. Okay, all these things we'll see in that particular code, that particular sessions, recorded sessions. Okay, it's same thing. Postman will also do the same thing, right? But it will do manually. Postman cannot hit the services 100 times at a time, 100 services or 100 operations at a time, right? So it cannot do, or Postman cannot hit the same service 100 times at a time. No, right? So you can achieve that using load runner. So it's almost same thing, but Postman is a different tool altogether. Yeah, performance center overview. Yes, we'll cover the performance center, right? We'll cover the performance center. We have almost 3-4 sessions on that. And this NV insights, we will cover a session like I'll give you input like what are the what is the network analysis, what are the different tools to calculate the latencies and all. I will give you some insights about these concepts as well. How the network how to analyze this network or how to create this network analysis report, and what are the different tools available. I'll give you some insights on that. And you guys might have a question like there are some other tools like in the market, right? Along with the load runner, right? Along with the load runner, we have some tools called like JMeter, NeoLoad, and all. But load runner has major share in the market, and most of the MNCs or majorly most of the top banking financial companies will prefer load runner over JMeter in terms of security, because JMeter is open source, right? And load runner is licensed. So load runner has continuous support from Micro Focus team, and it has more security, and that's the reason. And these all major banking financial institutions, banking companies, they prefer load runner over JMeter. Okay, JMeter is open source, free to use. Load runner is a standard product and it's a licensed one. And compare, as I said, load runner will support multiple protocols, right? And I can tell you one thing: load runner is the only tool in the market which supports more number of protocols, maximum number of protocols. And whereas other tools have support for limited number of protocols. Okay, like in fact JMeter also, the product support, the protocol support is limited, but whereas to load runner, large number of protocol support is present. And JMeter is purely based on Java, guys, but here in load runner it can be used with C and JavaScript also. Okay, and we have and as I said, it holds major share in the market. And I can tell you that load runner is more robust, and it's and JMeter, maybe technically a little bit less proficient, but load runner is more robust. Everything we have in in our machine, and everything, you need not depend on all third-party plugins or something like that. Everything will come as part of the package when the vendor purchases the license for the load runner, right? Everything will come as a package, and for every protocol we have a support from the Micro Focus team. So Micro Focus owns this load runner tool, right? So for every every protocol, we'll have a support from the Micro Focus team as well. And it has some excellent user interface. I told you, right? This Vusion, the reporting, the performance center, the analysis graphs. So excellent user interface. But whereas when we compare with JMeter, it has little bit poor user interface. And these are the major differences, guys, when we compare JMeter versus load runner. JMeter is also a good tool in the market as of now. And but as I said, considering these points, load runner still has major share in all major MNCs. So any questions? Yes, yeah, a good point actually, Dev. So I'll add this point also here. So we'll cover a tool called Fiddler. Okay, we can cover a tool called Fiddler, which will using which we can generate or we can create these requests, custom requests, or we'll see that. We'll see this Fiddler tool as well. How to capture the request from the Fiddler tool and how to use it in the load runner Vusion. A good point. So any other questions with respect to the load runner tool, or with respect to the if most of you guys have some doubts like how much coding is required and all. I told you, right, hardly will take 4 to 5 sessions for learning C language basics. That is more than enough, to start working on this scripting part. So any other questions? You can you can ping in the chat, or you can ask me directly. Yeah, what is the course duration? Generally, it is 1 month, but it can extend, 3 or 4 days beyond that. And the course and the classes will be 5 days in a week, Monday to Friday, and weekends you can practice. So the classes will be 1 hour, or depending on the topic, it can be more than an hour, or more than an hour in sense 5 or 10 minutes beyond that. But it is for majorly for 1 hour per day and 5 days in a week, and it is for 1 month. And as I said, I have added for this batch. I have added few additional topics, right? Like app dynamics and this Jenkins and all. So this performance engineering concepts, a little bit of these concepts. Like it will take 3-4 sessions for these additionally. Otherwise, to learn a load runner component alone, it will 1 month is sufficient, more than enough. No. JMeter is a separate tool. So JMeter is a separate tool, and it's a separate course altogether. And if you are a beginner, please learn one tool at a time. And if you're proficient in one tool, then definitely you can go ahead with another tool, and you can master that tool as well. See, there is testing in a cloud environment is something different. It's actually cloud performance testing is a separate course actually, again, because there are different cloud environments, like like we can say we can test it in AWS or Azure or PCF. Yeah, we do test in cloud. Yeah, you can. Yeah, so what is the cloud environment which you are using, Narendra? AWS. So okay. So basically, there is nothing much difference. Even I work on cloud environment. So as per my experience, there is nothing much difference. Only thing is your application is residing in a cloud environment, and from performance testing perspective, or from scripting perspective, it doesn't matter. Only the URL changes for us. That is the first basic thing. Okay, and the recording and everything is same. Only the URL changes. Now, only thing what you have to analyze is when you are testing in cloud. For example, if your application is already there in in a legacy environment, non cloud environment, and if you are migrating to cloud, so you have to compare, like how your application is behaving in the non cloud and cloud environments. And I told you, right, we have a monitoring tool, App Dynamics, okay, or App Dynamics or Dynatrace. There are so many monitoring tools. So using any monitoring tool, you can analyze, how your application is behaving in cloud, okay, and and you will have a separate cloud support team. Probably it could be AWS, or it could be Azure, or whatever it is. So with the help of cloud support team, we can get some additional metrics as well. But it's a different course, Narendra, altogether. But from a performance testing, from scripting perspective, from analysis perspective, from identifying the bottlenecks perspective, it is no different. Okay, the only thing difference is it's a different environment where we test. That's it. Any other questions, guys? How do you ensure we have load generators? See, load generators, actually, this is something related to the the configuration part. When we purchase a license, right? So for example, your company is purchasing a license from the Micro Focus, the load runner license. So depending on your requirement, uh, our support guys, our support guys from our company and the vendor company, or let's say Micro Focus. So together we'll work on creating this entire architecture, like setting up these load generator machines. So those are nothing but highly configured server machines, right? So it's a one-time activity. Generally, normally a performance tester will not get involved into those things unless and until it's a very small company and they don't have some resources, separate resources to handle all these things. So if they are beginning, if they are beginning from scratch, so it's the resource might get a chance to involve in that particular activity as well, but it's very very rare. So all medium term to major MNCs, you'll never get a chance. Performance tester will never get a chance to uh, work or create a environment where you get involved in setting up the load generator machines. Okay, so maximum. So let's assume that you are working in a major MNC. You'll have so many load generators. Let's say up to 40, 50 load generator machines. So as a performance tester, you can select any load generator, whichever is available. You can go ahead and run the test. Okay. So any specific questions with respect to the course content or with respect to the tool, load runner tool? Or in fact, any questions with respect to the performance testing as well on a high level? Okay, we have 4 minutes more. You can plan. You can ask me any questions if you have. Okay, so okay, if you don't have any questions, so let's wind up. Okay, I've got one question. As a QA, is it hard to switch to performance system? No, no, no. It's never a hard thing. Like I, I have seen so many functional testers, learning performance testing very quickly. Hardly it will take not even 1 month for them to learn. It's not very complex, right? It's a simple tool. Only thing is we have to learn few concepts, and we have to learn few identifying the bottlenecks and all those things. You can learn easily. It's not a big thing. I've seen so many resources, learning, changing their work from functional or manual QA to performance testing. In fact, I have seen people, changing their work experience from automation to performance as well. Okay, and nowadays it's most of the companies are asking for multiple skills, right? So it's always good to have multiple skills, functional performance, automation, whatever it is. There is no limit. You can learn a number of tools, a number of technologies, right? You can learn it easily, Chami. So once you complete this course, I'm sure you will get an at least let's say 1 or 2 years of experience in performance testing, in terms of scripting, in terms of analyzing, in terms of identifying the bottlenecks and all those things. We have shared Excel to group Q&A. Dev, which Excel group for Q&A? Okay, so all these questions. Okay. Do you mean to say the questions asked in today's session or in general in the entire course? Okay, yeah. Actually, in fact, at the end of this session, just forgot to mention a couple of points. Actually, for every session, we take one or two sessions for interview questions. So we discuss all the interview questions related to the topics we covered. Okay, so we discuss all the interview question and answers as well. And I will be sharing that document to you. The Q&A, the question and answers document with respect to the interview point. Okay, from interview perspective, I'll be sharing that document to you guys. Yeah. So it will be very handy for you. Before attending any interview, you can go through that document once, and I'm pretty sure that it will help you a lot. Yeah. Okay then. If you have, you can download Load Runner. Yeah, you can download Load Runner from Micro Focus site. I think nowadays it's 30 or 60 days trial version. You can download and practice, not an issue. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just stopping the recording.